Hello everyone, welcome back to our daily discussion on general mathematics. Today we will be exploring rational functions. We will be guided by the following objective. At the end of this video, you should be able to define rational function, distinguish rational function, rational equation, and rational inequality. And most importantly, you should be able to solve rational equations. Rational functions can be used to describe distance, speed, time relationship, and modeling work problems. They can also be used in problems related to mixing two or more substances. And the rational functions are widely used in business and industry to help predict outcomes. Rational formulas can be useful tools for representing real-life situations and for finding answers to real-life problems. As you will see, if you can find the formula, you can usually make sense of the situation. A rational function is a function which is the ratio of polynomial functions in the form of f of x is equal to p of x over q of x. So probably, rational function came from one of the operations on function, which is the quotient. So we are dividing two functions, where p of x and q of x are polynomial functions, and q of x is not the zero function. Example, that the q of x or the denominator, okay, kita nyo naman, the q of x can be found at the denominator, so the q of x is not equal to 0. The domain of f of x is all values of x, where q of x is not equal to 0. Let's try to determine if this is a rational function or not. So this one is a rational function because we have the numerator 2 of 2x and the denominator x squared. This one is also a rational function because the numerator and denominator are both polynomial function. Is this one a rational function? Of course, it's not a rational function because the denominator is 0. Okay. In this case, this will be undefined. So therefore, this one is not a rational function. How about this one? This one is a rational function because what's mentioned in the definition is that the denominator is not equal to 0, but the numerator could be. So this is called a constant function 0. No, kasi 0 divide any values. How about this one? Is this a rational function or not? Okay, I know most of you will answer it's not a rational function, sir, because it's not expressed as a quotient of two function. But it's you have to always remember that a polynomial function is always a rational function because it always have an identity function as the denominator. That is which the 1. No, yung ating function that is equal to 1. So this a polynomial function is always a rational function. Let's now differentiate rational functions, rational equations, and rational inequality. When you say a rational equation, it is an equation involving rational expression. So whenever you see an equation, no, that made use of ratio or fraction, that is called a rational equation. Given that in the fraction, there includes an unknown variable x. Okay? So, yun yung clue natin. Kailangan may x dun sa ating fraction. Baka mamaya, ang fraction natin ay whole numbers lang, no, walang variable. It's not considered a rational equation. So, you take a look at the equation. That's their difference. While in a rational inequality, no, there's just a very few difference between the two. Because in a rational inequality, it made use of inequality symbol. The less than, the greater than, the less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So if you've seen this one, and the expressions on left or right side of this inequality symbol is expressed into ratio, It's called now rational inequality. Now, what is now a rational function? Of course, when we talk about function, you will see the notation f of x. So that's the only clue that we have, because when we talk about rational function, it is expressing relationship between two variables, the function of x and the x. No? Of these three, no, yung ating rational equation at rational inequality, you observe there's only one variable. But in a rational function, we have two variables. The f of x, which was previously discussed as a representation of y, and our x. No? We have here input and output. So, let's now go to the most exciting part, that of which is solving rational equations. So, let's abreast ourselves with steps in solving rational equation. Here are the steps for solving rational equation algebraically. First, you have to find the least common denominator. You have to, if you're going to add or subtract two rational expression, you have to find their least common denominator. After that, you are going to multiply the least common denominator to each side of the equation, left and the right side. And if there are more than one terms in each of the side of this equality, now, you have to multiply them or distribute to each of the terms. And then after that, step 3, you try to simplify the resulting equation. Kasi, we try to multiply the whole equation, rational equation, by the LCD so that we could eliminate the fractions. Because we know it would be easier if we will try to eliminate the fractions. And then, that's the time we can simplify them. No, we will eliminate the fractions. And then after you simplify, you solve the simplified equation to find the value of x. So this time, since it's already simplified, we can now find the value of x. And then finally, if you have found the value of x, no, we will not stop there. We have to check each solution and check any extraneous solution. Kasi we might find more than one solution, but some of them will be extraneous. Ibig sabihin na extraneous solution, it will, most of the time, yun yung nasa denominator. It makes the denominator equal to 0. So, magiging unknown siya. So, if a solution is unknown, that's called an extraneous solution. So, kapag nakita nyo na magiging extraneous siya by checking, so you will not consider that as a solution or a value of x. So, what do we mean by this step? Let's try to solve for x given 2x over 3 plus x minus 2 over 5 equals 1 over 6. The first step is to find the least common denominator or the LCD. So, I'll give you a general way to find the LCD para magamit na rin natin siya with numerical values and also with the variables. So, the easiest way to find the LCD is skip counting, but you cannot do that when you deal with variables. So I'll teach you another one. So what you need to do is to factor the denominator in such a way that they're already prime. No, so it's called prime factorization. So we start first with 3. Ang ating prime factorization with 3 is 3 lang, no, 3 times 1. And then 5 is equal to 5 dahil wala naman na siyang factor. And then 6 is equal to 2 times 3. Now, you take a look at all these factors. No? You have to look at pairings. And then, pairings or the trio or kung ilan man yung magkakaparehas, you express them into 1. So, you can see we have 2 3s. So, the LCD will be 3. You express the 2 3 as 1. And then, the remaining single prime factor, 2 times 5. So our LCD is now equal to 30. So that's one of the technique in finding the LCD. So step number 2, multiply the LCD to each side of the equation. So we're going to multiply 30 on the left side and on the right side. Or in short, we will multiply them on each term. So we will multiply 30 times 2x over 3 plus 30 times x minus 2 over 5 equals 30 times 1 is still 30 over 6. Now, if you multiply them, you can see meron tayong pwedeng masimplify dyan. Just like 30 and 3, this is divisible by 3, and this is 1 and 10. This one is divisible by 5. We have 1 and then 6. This one's divisible by 6 is now equal to 5. So if you observe, we canceled all the denominator and we will now be dealing with equation. So you have 10 times 2x plus 6 times x minus 2 equals 5. So wala na tayong fraction this time. So 10 times 2x is equal to 20x plus 6 times x is 6x. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12 equals 5. We're now actually on the third step kasi after we multiply them, we are now on simplifying. Nagsisimplify na tayo ngayon. So we can combine like terms like 20x and 6x, that's 26x minus 12 equals 5. So we can bring out 12, no, para it will be together with 5. So 26x equals 5 plus 12. So we have now 26x equals 17. And then we solve for the value of x after we simplify. We divide it by 26. So our x is equal to 17 over 26. Ayan. Now, we're not yet done since we don't know if what we have solved as the value of x is correct. So what we need to do is to check. In checking, you just have to substitute the obtained value x equals 17 over 26 in the given equation as a given rational equation. So let's substitute 2 times 17 over 26 over 3 plus 17 over 26 minus 2 over 5 equals 1 over 6. So we can simplify this one into 13. And then this one, the 2, can be changed to 52 over 26. How? Since the denominator of the second one is 26, so we have to change this to 26. No? So times 2, 52 over 26 is just equal to 2. So let's simplify this one. 17 over 13 divide by 3 plus 17 minus 52 is negative 35 over 26 all over 5 equals 1/6. So you're asked now to divide 17 over 13 by 3. So we remember 3 is over 1 and 5 is over 1. The rule for whole numbers, no, they always have a denominator of 1. So we can now change this division. We can now perform dividing fractions, no. We just have to rewrite the numerator 17 over 13, turn division to multiplication, and find the reciprocal of 3 over 1, which is 1/3. So, plus, ganun din yung gagawin natin sa kabila, negative 35 over 26 times 1/5 equals 1 over 6. So, i-multiply natin to. So, 17 times 1 is 17 over 39 plus negative 35 times 1 is negative 35 over, we can simplify, no? So we can now simplify. Ito munang 35 and 5, 1 and then 7. So negative 7 times 1 is negative 7 over 26 equals 1/6. So we need to find the LCD of 39 and 26 para pwede natin silang ma-add. Katulad ng turo ko sa inyo kanina, to get the LCD of 39 and 26, si 39 kasi is equal to 13 times 3. And then 26 is equal to 13 times 2. So if you observe, our LCD will be, we rewrite 13 as 1 and then the remaining single values. So we'll have LCD equals 78. So we will use the LCD equals 78. So we need to have space where we can solve. So the LCD is equal to 78. I hope you take a screenshot. So the LCD is equal to 78. So we have to rewrite them. So 78 divided by 39, that's equal to 2 times 17, 34. And then plus 78 divided by 26 is 3 times negative 7 is negative 21. So pwede natin siyang ilagay na yun. Equals 1/6. So let's see. 34 minus 21 is 13 over 78 is equal to 1/6. Is it true? Yeah, 13 17 is actually divisible by 13. So magiging 1/6 equals 1/6 when you simplify. So our answer is correct. The value of x for this problem will be equal to 17 over 26. Yeah, so we don't have to check anymore for extraneous solution since we only have one solution. So now check naman natin that it makes the solution correct without denominator equal to 0. Second example. For our second example, solve for x. 2 over x squared minus 1 minus 1 over x minus 1 equals 1/2. So we try to find the LCD. So it's a x squared minus 1. It's actually equal to x plus 1 times x minus 1. I hope you still remember difference of 2 squared. And then x minus 1 is actually just x minus 1. Wala na yung factor. And then for 2, we have the 2. So let's look at same prime factors. Yan, meron tayong same prime factor. So our LCD will be x minus 1, the same factor, and then x plus 1, yung mga single factors, times 2. So it's proper kung ilagay natin yung 2 sa unahan. No? 2x minus 1, and then x plus 1. So, step number 2, multiply the LCD to each side of the equation. So we have 3 terms, 1, 2, and 3. So we multiply the LCD to each of these terms. So we have now 2 times x minus 1, the LCD, times the numerator 2 all over x. We can write this one as ano? As factor lang, no? Yung factor lang natin. So we have x minus 1 and then x plus 1. Saan ito galing? Dito, sa factor natin dito. So i-write na natin siya as factors kasi baka may ma-cancel tayo. May ma-cancel tayo yung mga values. So at least naka-factor na siya. And then again, the LCD, 2 times x minus 1, x plus 1, times 1. So we just simply do not put it anymore. Then x minus 1 equals to 2 times x minus 1 times x plus 1. So, times 1 ulit siya, so just put it there. So let's see what we can cancel. The goal is to remove the fraction. So obviously, makikita natin na matanggal yung mga denominator. So we will now have 2 times 2, yun na lang siya. So that will be 4 minus 2 times the remaining x plus 1 equals, this one is x squared minus 1. So pwede natin siyang ilagay as x squared minus 1. No. Or we can simply remove naman din tanggalin na natin yung kanyang so we have x squared minus 1. So step 3, to simplify the resulting equation. So we distribute negative 2. So itong negative 2 distribute natin dyan. So 4, negative 2 times x, negative 2x, and negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, equals x squared minus 1. Simplify lang natin to. So we have now 4 minus 2, that's actually 2, positive 2, equals x squared minus 1. So if you are going to try to solve for the simplified equation to find x, so nakita natin may power tayo na raised to 2. So magiging ano to, quadratic equation. So we have to put all these values on one side kung saan siya magiging positive. So ilipat natin siya sa kabilang side. So we will now have x squared equal to 0 yan. x squared equals positive 2x minus 2 minus 1. This will become 0 is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 3. So this is now our simplified equation to find the x. So we have to find the x this time. So since it's raised to 2, it should be factorable. No? Kasi this is how quadratic equation works. So this is negative 3 and positive 2. Factor of negative 3, which sum is positive 2. So napakadali niyan. Tinuro na natin yan dati. Nireview na natin yan. This is positive 3 and negative 1. So when you multiply positive 3 and negative 1, that's negative 3. When you add positive 3 and negative 1, that's positive 2, which is the middle term. So this is a correct factoring. So from here, since they are already in factor, it's equal to 0. So we will use the zero property of multiplication. So kung yan ay x plus 3, equate lang yan to 0, and also the other factor equal to 0. And we can now solve for x. Yan. So x equals negative 3 and x equals 1. So after solving, we don't know yet if this is correct. So we will try to check. No, mag-checking tayo. So we check first for x equals negative 3. So substitute natin just sa given equation dito. So 2 over negative 3 squared minus 1 minus 1 over negative 3 minus 1 equals 1 half. So this is 2 over 9. No? Negative 3 squared is 9 minus 1, 8 minus 1 over negative 3 minus 1, that's negative 4, equals 1 half. If you can see, parehas silang negative. So when you multiply that, that's positive, equals 1 half. And then, let's have this one in terms of the denominator equal to 8. So 2 over 8 plus, so 8 divided by 4 is 2 times 1 is 2. It's equal to 1 half. So if you could see, 4 over 8 is equal to 1 half. So, x equals negative 3 is a solution. Let's check naman x equals 1. For x equals 1, so we can see here 2 over 1 squared is 1 minus 1. Nakita na natin agad siya. Then 1 minus 1 equals 1 half. Nakita na natin that the denominator is equal to 0. 2 over 0 minus 1 over 0 equals 1 half. So this is an extraneous solution. Kasi yung denominator ay naging equal sa 0, which is unknown. I hope you have encountered this before. Therefore, this one is not a solution. Our only solution is negative 3. That is for our example number 2. Let's now have example number 3. So 4 over x plus 2 plus 5 over x minus 2 equals 29 over x squared minus 4. So we can see, to find the LCD, yung ating x minus x plus 2 ay already prime. Ang ating x minus 2 is already prime, while the x squared minus 4 is actually x minus 2 and x plus 2. So nakita natin, no, mayroong pare-parehas. 1, that's x plus 2. And then the other one is x minus 2. So i-express lang natin sila into 1. So this will now be our LCD. So next step, we multiply the LCD to each of the term. 1, 2, 3. So we have now x plus 2 times x minus 2 times 4 all over x plus 2 plus x plus 2 times x minus 2, yung LCD natin yan, times 5 over x minus 2 equals x plus 2 times x minus 2 times 29 all over the x squared minus 4 is x plus 2 times x minus 2. Nakikita nyo, marami tayong mga matatanggal. Mukha lang siyang komplikado. But if you follow the LCD, tas binultiply nyo siya per term, makikita nyo na ang dami nating pwedeng makancel. Which actually giving us, a very good or a very short equation para hindi tayo mahirapan. So what remains are 4 times x minus 2, binaliktad lang natin para maging proper siya. And then we have the 5 times x plus 2 equals 29 na lang. Yan, di ba? This one looks shorter. Okay, so after multiplying them, natin, isi-simplify na natin siya. So we distribute, we can see product. So 4 times x is 4x. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Plus 5 times x is 5x. And then 5 times 2 is positive 10 equals 29. So magko-combine na natin yung like terms dyan. We have 9x and positive 2 equals 29. So i-bring out natin si 2 equals to 29 minus 2, it's equal to 27. 9x equals 27. And divide by 9, our x now becomes 3. So, napakasimple lang ng sagot pero haba ng solution. So, let's now check. Checking tayo for x equals 3. So, balik tayo sa una nating equation. We substitute 3. So, 3 plus 2 plus 5 over 3 minus 2 equals 29 over 3 squared minus 4. So we have 4 over 5 plus 5 over 1 equals 29 over 9 minus 4 is 5. So ito lang naman ang kailangan natin gawing over 5. 4 over 5 plus, so divide, 5 divided by 1 is 5 times 5, 25 equals 29 over. You can see, tama ang ating sagot. Yeah. So, our answer for this one is x equals 3. Yeah. So, now we're down to our last example. Solve for x given x minus 6 over x squared minus 4x minus 12 plus x 2 over x plus 2 equals 1 over x minus 6. So, kita natin, itong x squared minus 4x minus 12, hanap tayo ng number na factor ay negative 12 and then the sum is negative 4. Actually, it's 2 and 6, no? Since negative yung higher, negative 6 siya. So, the factor dyan is x minus 6 times x plus 2. And then, the second fraction natin, x plus 2, prime na yan. And then, the third one is x minus 6. So, kung makikita nyo, may mga pairing. So, we have the first pair, the x plus 2. And then, the second pair is x minus 6. Walang single prime factor. So, this one is our LCD. So, we multiply the LCD. Step 2 na tayo. So, multiply natin yan. X plus 2 times x minus 6 times the numerator x minus 6 all over. Ang factor niyan ay x plus 2 and then x minus 6. Makikita nyo, ang daming pwedeng i-cancel. And then x plus 2 times x minus 6 times 2 all over x plus 2 equals x plus 2 times x minus 6 times 1. Pwede na yan nawala, minus 6. So, ang dami pwede i-cancel. Wow, that's great. Yan. So, what remains are x minus 6 plus 2 times x minus 6 equals x plus 2. So, yan. Ito na, i-distribute lang natin siya, no? So, x minus 6 plus 2x minus 12 equals x plus 2. Ilagay natin lahat ng with variable sa, i-combine muna natin to. 3x minus 18 equals x plus 2. Combine natin siya, no? Yung, lagyan natin itong x sa kabila, tapos yung 18, negative 18, lagyan natin dito. So, we have now 3x minus x equals 2 plus 18. So, we'll have 2x equals 20, x equals 10. Yan. Pero hindi pa yung final, no? We will check, no? So, we'll check. Wala na tayong space masyado. So, let's try checking here. Tuloy na lang sa kabilang part for x equals 10. So, we have now 10 minus 6 over 10 squared is 100 minus 40 minus 12. Mabilis ang checking. Plus 2 over 10 plus 2 equals 1 over 10 minus 6. So, we have now 10 minus 6 is 4 over 100 minus 40, 60 minus 12, 48. Plus 2 over 12 equals 1 over 4. So, itong 4 over 48, pwede siyang i-divide sa 4. No, i-continue natin siya dito. So, we have it 1 over 12 plus 2 over 12 equals 1/4. That's actually 3 over 12 equals 1/4. Yan, tama tayo. So, since tama, naging true, naging equal sila, so our answer is x equals. So, I hope you get the steps in solving for rational equation. Anahin nyo lang, i-repeat lang ng i-repeat itong mga processes na to. Get used to with LCD. Huwag kakalimutan itong mga process na diniscuss natin. You're way ahead solving easily a rational equation. So, see you on our next video. On our next video naman, we will deal with rational inequalities. Bye everyone!